Hey everybody. In the previous video, we found a third-person character controller template that's available for you to download, and we went ahead and downloaded a separate character package and applied the components of the template third-person controller package into a particular character of the custom character package, thus allowing us to use the animations of the template package for the custom character package, which ultimately is something that you're going to be doing a lot moving forward if you want to use more custom characters, especially as a beginner. In this video, we're going to go ahead and bring in an asset from Maya that's been rigged, and we are going to apply those components from the template controller onto this character, who's named Blue. Now, I did not make Blue. Blue came from Blue came from almost 10 years ago, so this is a very, very old model. I believe this was provided to me through one of the books I had to use when I was first learning Maya, but I'm not completely sure anymore. It's been a very, very long time. I barely used Blue even back then. Let's get Blue into Unity, shall we? So first things first, these controls, the controllers that we use here to actually manipulate the manipulate the skeleton of Blue, we don't need these. So we can go ahead and go to rigging. We can just hide them. We don't need them. They are irrelevant to this process, believe it or not. The only things we need to export are the geometry, which in this case is the body and the eyes. And we also need to take the bones. The bones and the geometry are the only things that we actually need. So with those two things selected, we're going to go ahead and just export this. So let's go ahead and export a selection. I'm going to put this on my desktop. I'm just going to call this Blue because this is Blue. You will notice immediately if you export a rigged model without the controllers that you're going to get these warnings here. These warnings are because you're not taking the rigging controls with you. Since we don't need them in Unity, these warnings don't matter. So if you get these two warnings, don't worry about it. That's fine. Just close, and now let's go ahead and open up Unity. So there we are. There's Unity. This is the same white box scene, but I got rid of the custom man character that we were applying shadows character inspector components into. All right, let's go ahead and just bring in Blue. So right click, I'm going to import a new asset. Let's go to my desktop. Blue should be right there. There's Blue. Wonderful. All right, with Blue opened up, we are going to, before we actually put him into the scene itself, we are going to go to this rig tab here inside his import inspector here. We're going to change the animation type to humanoid. We can see that we have the skin weight standard for bones. We don't need to mess with the avatar definition of the skin weights for this particular model, so we're just going to hit apply. Then we're going to go to configure. Configure is where you go is where you can set up the bones so that the animations play properly. As you can see here, all the joints from the Maya scene for Blue, they're all there. We don't need to do anything with this right now, so I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of this inspector here. I'm just going to hit done so we can go back to our regular Unity view. At this point, nothing is stopping us from placing Blue into the scene. He's very small, so we're going to go ahead and make him a little bit bigger. Something more comparable to the size that the man and Shadow were. And at this point, all I'm going to do is exactly the same thing that I did with the man, which is set up the animator, the rigid body, the capsule collider, the four scripts, set up the camera so it properly follows, and then we'll play the scene. So I'm going to do a quick cut because you've already seen me do all this with the man character, and it's going to be exactly the same process with the Blue character. Okay, so everything has been applied to Blue that was applied to the man character and originally applied to the Shadow character. So let's go ahead and play the scene now. And This seems... Oh. Oh. Whoa. Look at those eyes. Well, this is the risk you run. This is the risk you won. This is the risk you run when you bring in stuff from Maya. Thankfully, there is a way to fix this weird eye situation, and also thankfully everything else seems to be working okay apart from the weirdo eyes there. So let's go ahead and see if we can address this this eye problem here. All right. So let's select blue, the original asset that we brought in, not the not what's in the hierarchy. So let's select blue here. Let's go to configure. We skipped over this when we first brought in the character. I mean, I guess that there were probably going to be some issues just skipping over this part, not doing much of anything. This allows us to map the all of the rigging controls, all of the skeleton controls to the body, the head, the left hand, the right hand, and allow us to ensure that this character properly works. If we select the head here, we go to head, we select the head, and we can rotate. We can see it's not properly, the eyes are not properly children of this head. So I'm going to cut out audio. I'm going to work a little bit and see if I can fix this weird eye situation. So well, ultimately, I would like to have returned with some better news, but I actually was not able to fix this problem. Unfortunately, the reality is that's a really old model. I don't necessarily know how to. I didn't necessarily know how to work with it, so unfortunately, that meant that I couldn't really resolve the issues that I was having with the eyes. So I returned to my regular imported man asset here, and I'm just using this again. Yeah, unfortunately, hate to end it on such such a lower note, but in this case, with that particular model, I wasn't able to actually fix the issue, which is going to happen sometimes. Unfortunately, that's the reality, that not everything that you're working with is going to be, fully compatible, or you're going to have the proper amount of time to figure it out. And, with more time, I probably could have figured it out, but for now, I'm just going to have to leave it as is and just say that I couldn't work with the with that very old blue model. So that's the situation we're in. Unfortunately, I can play with the last thing I wanted to show is that the third person character controller has a lot of settings to play with, so you can change the walk speed, the jump, the jump height, all that good stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, really wanted to work with the blue model. It was kind of fun looking, but ultimately, it didn't work out, which is an unfortunate lesson to have to put into this video. But sometimes that's just the way it goes. Sometimes you're gonna take some assets that aren't necessarily yours. You're gonna try to work with them, and they're not always gonna work out. I mean, this is something that I brought up as early as week 3 when we were first introduced to the asset store. And so far, everything that we've been working with has worked out. But in this case, we finally met. So if we finally met an asset that wasn't really working for us. So ultimately, I'm just going to have to move on and work with something else. So in the next video, I am going to create my own model from scratch and rig that and animate that and bring that into Unity. So real quick, everybody, even though the lesson's already over, I wanted to bring your attention to this avatar configuration setting here. The way we reach the avatar configuration, by the way, you select your imported asset from Maya, you switch the animation type to humanoid, you apply, then you go to configure, and that takes you to the avatar configuration view. So what avatar configuration basically is, it gives you the opportunity to select to see how an asset was brought in from Maya to Unity. So you have the opportunity to select various body parts and actually test the and test the skeleton for yourself. Obviously, we're in a situation where the blue model wasn't really working out for us, but that doesn't stop us from testing out its various bones here. So if you wanted to see how everything was mapped, if you wanted to make sure that everything was skinned properly, then you can go ahead and work with the avatar configuration to test various joints in the body. If there are any issues with skinning, for example, if there are any issues with skinning, you can't actually fix that within Unity. You have to go back into Maya and play with the painting weights option. But you can test for yourself if they look okay in Unity. You can't actually fix any weight issues. You have to go back into Maya to do that. All right. You can also reassign joints if you want to here in this menu here. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.